My name is Bernadette Desir. I am the solo host and founder of the Unleashing Potentials podcast. And I've had the pleasure and honor to interview so many incredible souls with so many powerful stories and the work that they're doing in their community, the healing they've done through their pain and for themselves and others. It's truly remarkable. Yeah. So for those who want to come on the podcast, whether it's your first time coming on the podcast, um, I need a few things, which you would know by now, because either you reach out or I reached out. Um, I need your bio, links where people can find your picture of you, and any other links that you want to send to me. Please also send those as well. And when you reach out to me, you will receive a link for Google form to fill out. Please fill that out. When you fill it out, it makes the transition so much more smoothly for you and myself. All right. Because there are key questions that I ask that I typically need to know to proceed and to get your interview going. All right, you guys. Okay, let's get to today's topic. Okay, I don't want to go on and on and on. I think I did my announcement stuff here for you guys. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to be talking about vulnerability for the entire week. Doesn't mean I'm doing a live every single day, which I don't have the time to. But for this week, I encourage you to possibly adopt that word um, in your heart and your action and your thoughts and things that you do, and just apply it. Apply it, use it where you can. Okay. It brought to my heart, maybe by my spirit team or just my conscious of why I think it's important to talk about vulnerability, because there's so many myths about it, which is what I'm going to be breaking down for you guys today. Some myths about vulnerability, and please feel free to comment whether you're watching this video, this live at a later time. Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right. What does vulnerability means to you, and how do you apply it in your life? And what has it taught you? I find that, especially with our culture, it can be hard to talk about those kind of topics. And I think, in my own words, I think vulnerability is strength, it's power, and it's very tied to authenticity. And if we surrender, we're vulnerable where we need to be, we can learn so much from just doing that. All right. And other people can, in return, learn so much from us as well. All right. And I'm going to share a few key points here. This is by Brené Brown. It's called Daring Greatly. I'm just going to share a few key points of what people answered when she asked them what vulnerability is. All right. Again, the answer varies for everybody. It's not the same. The first one is vulnerability is, you're welcome to fill in the blank. You're welcome to comment here, and I'd be more than happy to share your comment with everybody else. And yeah. So vulnerability is sharing an unpopular opinion, standing up for myself, standing up for yourself. Vulnerability can be asking for help. Vulnerability is saying no, starting your own business, and helping those who need it. And let's see. And vulnerability is hearing how much my son wants to make first chair in the orchestra. I can't even pronounce that. And encouraging him while knowing it's not going to happen. Those are just examples of what vulnerability is. from the book I'm reading that I'm sharing. Okay. Vulnerability is calling a friend whose child just passed, signing up your mom for hospice care. Mm. Vulnerability is taking the first step after divorce. Vulnerability is saying, I love you, first not knowing if I'm going to be loved back. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah. And let's see. Wow, those are amazing, you guys. And it could be getting fired, falling in love, trying something new. Um, let's see, bringing hope and admitting that we're afraid. And yeah, ooh, laying off employees, being accountable, asking for forgiveness, asking for help, and having faith. Yeah, yeah, those are um, pretty tough decisions, I think, if not all of us make every single day. Yeah. And but for today though, essentially I wanted to share some myths when it comes to vulnerability. So if you find yourself opening up, sharing your heart, and it's okay to do that. It's okay to feel fear, to be afraid. It's okay to do it afraid. All right. And number one myth is that when people are vulnerable, it's a sign, people say may think it's a sign of weakness. I think when we open up, it's a sign of strength and courage. And I think there's so much bravery, rawness, and beauty in us opening up. All right. And it's okay. It's okay to feel fear while we do that. Do it afraid. That's what I always tell people, to do it afraid. And when we are vulnerable, we encourage people to do the same. People we may know, people we may not know, we encourage them to do the same because it can be hard to open up, hard to be ourselves. All right. Myth number 2. I have 10 myths. All right. Once I'm done the myths, that will be a wrap for my video. Number 2. Myths number 2 is vulnerability means oversharing. That's a myth because if you're not going into every single little detail, you're just sharing what you experienced, what happened, how you had to overcome something. That is not oversharing. That is you honoring your journey and looking at your scars and reminding yourself of how far you come. All right. And I think through sharing, we can connect with others. And through sharing, you can learn from each other. All right. Myth number 3. Ooh, vulnerability makes you less respected. No, that is a myth because I think people respect those who can be themselves. And when we can do that, it's beauty, it's power, it's strength. And people respect that. People admire vulnerability. People love that. All right. And another myth is that vulnerability is only about emotions. No, it's not, right? Yes, we are very expressive beings. I think when we're showing emotion, it's a way of us communicating, connecting, and comforting each other. All right. And myth number 6, I don't know if I skipped one on that. Only certain people can be vulnerable. That's a myth because I think all of us can be vulnerable. All right. All of us have the power to be vulnerable. So if you find yourself where people are telling you that you can't be, you don't necessarily have to prove them wrong. You just have to know your power, how much you can unleash and do through vulnerability. All right. And another myth is that vulnerability has no place in a professional setting. So we actually need that in a professional setting. That's why it's a myth, because in a professional settings, I think when we come together, it helps through leadership, teamwork, innovation, and many other ways, right? So we need that. in the workplace and companies and other things that we do. We need it in everyday life. All right. Another myth is that vulnerability, once you're vulnerable, people will take advantage of you. They will if you let them. But if you set boundaries, if you know where to set them, then I don't foresee that happening, although it does happen. And I think it's, you got to set boundaries, right? You got to set boundaries, take risk, and do it afraid. Do it afraid, right? And another myth is that vulnerability is a one-act time, meaning you do it once and that's it. No. I think for personal growth, professional growth, you got to do it every day. Or for self-growth, you got to do it every day. All right. So those are a few key points I wanted to share on vulnerability. I do need to head out soon, you guys. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, please reach out to me and let me know. And yeah, I'm excited to continue to release episodes to talk to amazing people from all over the world. I had 3 mind-blowing interviews today, and can't wait for you guys to hear them. I'm excited. I think we're heading in the right direction. Not only me, but together we are. So as always, that's a wrap, you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know. And remember to continue to be vulnerable, because it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, courage, and healing and openness. All right. Take care, you guys. Bye.